You.
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Dynasty Collision, Phoenix's top-rated collision center, covers up to $1,000 of your deductible. Call 602-529-3304. With 5-star reviews and a lifetime warranty, Dynasty Collision is your repair solution. Call now, 602-529-3304. Dynasty Collision.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
Is the Tuesday edition of the lunch break this week more like the Thursday edition of the lunch break this week? Since tomorrow is the Friday edition on a Wednesday?
I think we're combining days. I think this is more of the
Wednesday.
Yesterday was
Thursday?
Monday, Tuesday. Today's Wednesday, Thursday. And I think tomorrow is just a football Wednesday.
Well, whatever day it is to you, we appreciate you being here on this edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. The voice you just heard, producer Evan, he's on the other side of the glass, ready to take your phone calls, 480-864-1060. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream and chat away with us over there as well. There is no ceremony today. There is no using the Sharpie to add another red W to the schedule for the Phoenix Suns because, unfortunately, they saw their 3-game winning streak snapped last night.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
Look, a short-handed Suns team was always going to face an uphill battle against Houston last night, even without Kevin Durant. And it kind of played out exactly the way you would expect a short-handed Suns effort to look. No Mark Williams, no Grayson Allen, no Ryan Dunn. Obviously, they haven't had Jalen Green for a while. And so just not having the full complement of players is going to set up the Suns for a night like last night. Now, the 21 turnovers, they don't help in that regard. When you're shorthanded the way the Suns were, you can't be gifting extra opportunities to a team like Houston. 21 turnovers. Believe Houston ended up with 26 points off of those 21 turnovers. They won the points off of turnovers battle, I think, by 14 points or something like that. And that led to the 114-92 loss for the Suns last night. And in all honesty, this is just one you throw in the trash. You don't dwell on it too much. You don't harp on it too much because you expect the Suns to get healthy. You expect the next time out for the Suns to potentially have Grayson Allen and Ryan Dunn back in the lineup. Mark Williams off last night because of a maintenance day, trying to keep him healthy coming back from the various injuries he's had in his career. He played the night prior, and this is all part of the gamble and the risk you run as a team when you decide to use Mark Williams the way that you did, to play him against Minnesota on Friday, to play him against San Antonio on Sunday. It's going to take him out of action. And then when you don't have Grayson Allen, when you don't have Ryan Dunn, it leaves you shorthanded, and you kind of have to accept that last night's game is going to happen when you're that shorthanded. And I don't know if this is the calculus from the Suns. It's certainly maybe my justification or my reasoning, me trying to be okay with what happened last night. It could be a case of losing the battle to win the war, and the war being the NBA Cup, with 2 games later on this week for the Suns in the NBA Cup. First up against Sacramento on Wednesday, then on Friday, Black Friday, they will take on Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City, and we'll know where the Suns fall in the NBA Cup after that. We'll see if they get to the knockout stage. Could they perhaps have been taking it easy with Ryan Dunn, taking it easy with Grayson Allen, knowing that they're going to want those guys fully healthy for the 2 games later in the week? I don't know. Not a part of the decision-making process that leads the Suns to not having those 3 guys available. They are banged up. They are hurt. But I do wonder if after winning against Minnesota on Friday and beating San Antonio on Sunday, the term we used yesterday, playing with house money, I wonder if that house money mentality gave the Suns a chance to err on the side of caution. You already knew you were going to be without Mark Williams. You already knew you haven't had Jalen Green for much of the season. You take a couple of extra days. You don't play Dunn. You don't play Grayson Allen. So they don't play on what Monday. They're off today. They play on Wednesday in Sacramento. I can see how you maybe give up last night's game. And I don't think the Suns waved the white flag and gave up. But I do think when you're a compromised group, the way the Suns were last night, expecting them to win that game, you can't get on this team. This team's been great all season long. And you're watching that game knowing that they don't have the guys. They don't have the guys to compete with this Houston team. And they didn't do themselves any favors with the 21 turnovers. And so I'm just taking this game. I'm throwing it in the trash. I'm not dwelling on it. I'm not saying that this means anything for the remainder of the season. I'm viewing this for what it is, a one-off when the team wasn't healthy. Now, if they're going to continue to be without these guys, they're going to have to try to find a way. But you played a good Houston team, even without Kevin Durant. That's still a good team on the other side. That's a team that can win the West. That's a team that can compete for a championship. And you just didn't, with where you're at as a franchise right now in your rebuilding process, your retooling process, when you're missing the guys that the Suns were missing last night, let's be honest, you don't really stand a chance against Houston. And that's okay. That was never the goal this year of you need to stand toe-to-toe with Houston all season long. You need to stand toe-to-toe with Denver, toe-to-toe with Oklahoma City. That's not what this year was about. So this isn't a game against Sacramento where it happens. This isn't a game against New Orleans where this happens. This isn't a game against Utah. This isn't a game against any of the bottom teams in the NBA where it can be a cause for concern. You look on the other side of the court and you see a really darn good Houston basketball team. You were shorthanded. You just kind of throw your hands up and you say, it happens. And you just kind of move on. And you have to have a short-term memory because two very important games later on this week. 2-0 right now for the Suns in the NBA Cup. Think that they have to get to at least 3. And they have to make sure that the one game they lose is not a blowout. They need to play competitively in the loss. They need to run up the score in the win. So if you're looking at the schedule, you see Wednesday's game as the chance to run up the score against the Sacramento team that you're much better than. And then you look at Friday against Oklahoma City and you say, we don't need to win the game, but can we make sure we lose by the smallest margin possible? Can we lose by 1 point? Can we lose by 2 points? Can we take this game down to the buzzer? Because that may be the thing that keeps the Suns in or out of the NBA Cup. But a game, producer Evan, that I'm just kind of saying it happens, we move on, and we get ready for the rest of the week in the NBA Cup. What else can you do with last night's game?
There's not much. It's a bad spot in a sea of really good Suns outcomes, right? Like, those were going to happen. We knew this team isn't talented enough, one, or old enough, really, to probably have these really sustained winning streaks. Listen, this weekend, they beat Minnesota. They beat San Antonio. Did I really think they were going to string together a third in a row against Houston? I think that would have been asking a lot. I think because they took the first two, it's easy to get excited and be like, oh my God, they're going to win all 3. That's a lot to ask.
We called it yesterday. This is putting the cherry on top of the sundae. This is the extra. I think when you win the 2 games that you did over the weekend, first against Minnesota and then against San Antonio, you did your job. And I'm not going to allow last night to ruin that. They did their job. They went 2-1 in this 3-game stretch, which is exactly what we asked them to do to answer the question of, can you hang with this tier of teams in the Western Conference? To me, the answer is yes, because you can't look at last night's game and say, oh, they couldn't hang with Houston. Really? They were missing Jalen Green. They didn't play Mark Williams. They were missing Ryan Dunn, and they were missing Grayson Allen. They are missing players that arguably are all starters for them if they are healthy. So I'm not willing to say they can't hang with Houston because I don't know if they can hang with Houston because they were not at their full complement. And neither was Houston because they didn't have Kevin Durant. I want to see how these two teams clash when everybody's healthy and where everybody is closer to 100%. Then if the Suns fall short, then if the Suns have a similar result to last night, then yeah, you can say that they're behind. I can't say that after that game last night.
No, not at all. Because yes, obviously the Rockets are missing Kevin Durant, and that's a huge piece of what they want to do. How have we talked about Grayson Allen? How have we talked about Ryan Dunn? When Jalen Green was on the floor, I think we all saw it of what the Suns could be at full strength. Like, This Suns team took 2 or 3. Jalen Green hasn't played more than like 3 games all year. What else do you want them to do? Like, I understand we're upset that they lost the game. This has been one blip in what has been a really good stretch here for the Suns. And you're right. I think at full strength, the Suns have a really good case to say, hey, we can run with the Rockets, because we know not even at full strength, we can go run with Minnesota. We know, you know what I mean? Like, we know we can run with San Antonio. Not only did we do it on Sunday, we did it earlier in the year when they were fully healthy.
They're 2-0 against San Antonio this season. They haven't lost to that team. So, yeah, it's one of those weird things where it's a game in the middle of the season, and I don't think you can put stock into it one way or another. Now, if they would have won the game last night, shorthanded.
Put stock into it.
I think but I think you do, because you're shorthanded and you beat Houston. Then now you just, all bets are off. You can beat anybody now.
And then you're talking about a stretch where you've won 4 in a row against Portland, Minnesota, San Antonio, and Houston. And then it's a really different conversation.
Massively different conversation if they win that game last night shorthanded. And you just saw it in the second half. They made a couple of runs if you were able to watch the game on Peacock. How long did it take us, both of us getting here today, before we had a very lengthy conversation with somebody else in the building who was upset of where the game was aired last night? He was not happy.
No. Nobody in this building was happy with where it was aired.
Was happy that they had to go get another streaming service.
I also think Peacock is always the one that people go over the top for. It's that and the Roku TV, which sometimes has baseball.
They have the Sunday morning leadoff game, right?
Yes, and those two are always the one people get upset about. Always.
I will tell you, it wasn't difficult for me because I already have Peacock for soccer. And so I'm just used to using the app. So when I saw that the game was on Peacock, it was a very quick little decision for me to just on the smart TV, just go to that app instead of going to the TV. But I understand that there are probably some people out there that didn't know that that's where the game was last night. And, 7 o'clock rolled around. Yes, 6 o'clock, 7:30 rolled around, and they're like, where's my basketball game?
I have Peacock because it's actually probably the only streaming. No, maybe HBO, but HBO and Peacock are probably the only 2 streaming services that I would say I have because they have a show that I really love watching. And for me, it's The Office on Peacock.
Guy loves watching the reruns.
And on HBO, it's Entourage.
So you just have those on in the background while you're doing some stuff.
Yeah. Always, for me, those are comfort shows.
Those are like you're meal prepping for the week. You throw that on while you're doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you. So if you were able to watch the game and you made the move over to Peacock to watch them take on Houston, you saw that in the second half of the game. They had a couple of small little runs that you thought maybe could get them back into it, and then they would make a mistake, or they would commit a turnover, or they would miss a shot, and Houston would come down the other end and hit a big bucket. And it just felt like the Suns were shorthanded. It was another great night for Colin Gillespie off the bench, though. 16 points in 21 minutes. He's becoming a real problem in a good way for this team coming off the bench, part of that second unit. And he's just somebody that you're drawing up plays for. You feel confident with the ball in his hand. You feel like he can make stuff happen, either being a distributor or scoring himself. And it's just, this was what we were talking about last year with giving him more of an opportunity. But even I didn't think that he was going to be able to do this for this team. And the more this continues to be a storyline for the Phoenix Suns, the more we come out of these games talking about how important Colin Gillespie's performance was to the Suns' victories. You're going to start to talk about him as a major part of this future, as a bench piece, as that leader of the second unit, as the guy that provides that energy when Devin Booker's out of the lineup. And he's just checking every box for this team right now. And he had another good night last night with the 16 points. But the 21 turnovers were just a killer for this team. You can't commit that many turnovers against this team. They're gonna take full advantage of it if you commit 21 turnovers against Houston. Code over on YouTube says, isn't all of Peacock's sports content now showing on NBC Sports Network on YouTube TV? That's where I was watching it. I did not know this. NBC Sports Network is back, and it's airing all of the Peacock sports content. I did not know this.
By the way, have you seen the NBC intro to the games?
It's great.
It is awesome. Awesome. NBC, by the way, they dominate the football landscape. Sunday Night Football is by far the best broadcast in the NFL. And it clearly it's already happening with the NBA. Their intro, money.
Well, a couple years ago, we started to get the playoff game on Peacock, and that's when everybody started to be up in arms about the streaming services. Now you got basketball on Peacock.
Was that Justin Herbert? Wasn't he on Peacock?
I believe that was the Chargers game.
Yes. He didn't miss much. He threw 5.
No, I believe maybe the first game on Peacock.
I think it was Jags Chargers. I think it was.
Why do I remember in my head watching a Raiders-Bengals playoff game on Peacock?
Oh, yes. No, I
Derek
think
Carr?
you're right.
Like, why is that a memory that I'm making up? Was that not actually a Peacock game? Like, I remember watching Derek Carr.
Yes. Throw a pick late in the game. Yes. Okay. We're both wrong. The first NFL game streamed exclusively on Peacock was the AFC wildcard matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins on January 13th, 2024. Remember, that was the game. It was like 4 degrees.
Oh, the Dolphins stood no chance because they had to play outdoors in cold weather. Yes, I remember this now.
That was the first game ever streamed, playoff game ever streamed.
So that Bengals Raiders game was
It was just on NBC.
Or was it a regular season game? I don't know. All these questions now that I have coming out of this conversation. But the Suns now have 2 very important games later on this week. You don't have to worry about needing another streaming service for that. It's first against Sacramento on Wednesday. We'll preview that in tomorrow's show. And we'll know when we come back in here on Monday, December 1st. We will know if the Phoenix Suns will continue playing in the NBA Cup. And here's to hoping, because it's been something we've been excited about here on this show, because it would be a mile marker for this team in year 1 of what they're trying to do. To be able to say we made it out of our group and we got to the knockout stage and maybe perhaps made a run in the NBA Cup. The phone number for you to join us here today on the program, 480-864-1060. You can also chat away with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream on our YouTube channel as well. When we come back, he has been excellent over the last 2 weeks. What does his future hold? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
NAU basketball right before Thanksgiving here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lumberjacks as they look to face off against Southeast Missouri State. With head coach Shane Burkhardt at the helm, the Lumberjacks are ready to show off their skills this Wednesday night. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live from the Roll Activity Center. It's NAU versus Southeast Missouri State. Pregame at 5:30 p.m. and tip-off at 6 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
It's frustrating when people intervene on you, but they have problems of their own. It's like when someone sends you a text, but the text comes from their email address. I hate this. Your name at iCloud, they FaceTime you from their email address? Are you calling on a child's iPad?
Emmy-winning comedian John Mulaney announces his new tour, Mr. Whatever. Celebrity Theater, Friday, March 6th. Tickets on sale now at etix.com.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
The Kia Season of New Traditions year-end sales event is going on now at Mart Kia in Scottsdale.
Right now, you can receive up to $10,000 bonus cash on Kia's most popular EVs, like the 2025 Kia EV6 and 2026 Kia EV9.
The name to remember, Mart Kia, Mart Kia.
One study found that half of all clients are unhappy with their lawyer. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
That's why we survey our clients and know over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Home Buyer. In this holiday season, I want to give back. So for every home I buy, I'll donate $1,000 to St. Jude. By now, you already know I'll buy your house for cash in any condition, and I'll beat any other offer. And now by selling me your house, you can help out a family at St. Jude. So let's get your home sold quickly. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today. Visit andrewthehomebuyer.com. That's andrewthehomebuyer.com.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. So, are the Shedeur Sanders cultists right in saying, see, told you so, he's him? Or are the Shedeur haters correct in saying he actually was terrible yesterday and it was that relentless Browns defense that won that game, not Shedeur? As always, the answer is yes. Look, he absolutely gave the Browns a spark and generally did show some poise and composure. That said, he and his nation need to stop acting like that was, quote, legendary. And Shedeur needs to refrain from clapping back against his, quote, haters. Yes, a win is a win, and a win is nice. But that win came against the worst team in the league, the Raiders. And you won because of the defense and not because Shedeur lit up the joint. Yes, he earned another start. Yes, I want to see more, especially against a team that matters. Just know there is nothing legendary about beating the most pathetic team in the league. How he plays this week against Frisco is going to tell us a lot more about Shedeur than anything we saw yesterday. I'm Jim Rome.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Lowe's early Black Friday deals are going fast. Don't miss up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, up to an extra 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. And with Christmas around the corner, you're going to need more string lights, right? Save $4 on GE LED 100-count string lights, now just $5.98. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/3. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
ASU women's basketball continues right here on KDUS AM 1060. The Lady Sun Devils this Tuesday get ready to play host to Utah Tech. With Coach Molly Miller at the helm, ASU looks to reach new heights this season and prove themselves on the court. Tune in as ASU looks to win over the Bison. It's ASU women's basketball this Tuesday night. Pregame at 6 p.m. and tip-off at 6:30 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Boy, do we have a lot to get to today on the program. We've got an Overreaction Tuesday coming up right after this, about 10 minutes or so from now. In hour number 2 of the program today, it's Tuesday, which means NFL News Dump. We're moving up this week the Schubert Scale and Evans Risers. We're going to do that at 12:30 because tomorrow is a Football Wednesday, which means we got to make picks. We got to do the NFL look ahead. It's Wednesday, which means we've got to do a list. We got to preview the Cardinals game. We got to get you ready for the Territorial Cup. The Suns have an NBA Cup game. There's just not enough time to get to it all. So we had to move some things around. So you're going to get a Schubert Scale today here on the program. That's coming up at 12:30. But the last 2 weeks for Michael Wilson have been just absolutely stellar. First, it was the 18 targets, the 15 catches, the 185 yards 2 weeks ago against the San Francisco 49ers. Then it was the follow-up this past Sunday. 15 targets, 10 catches, 118 yards. Back-to-back weeks with double-digit targets, back-to-back weeks with double-digit catches, and back-to-back weeks of 100 yards or more. Michael Wilson over the last 2 weeks has emerged as the wide receiver 2 that we've all been searching for. We thought needed to draft that wide receiver 2, thought perhaps they needed to sign that wide receiver 2, thought they needed to trade for that wide receiver 2. In fact, perhaps that wide receiver 2 was sitting on the roster the whole time. And all he needed was an opportunity. All he needed was a chance to showcase the skill set that got him drafted. What was it, in the 3rd round? I think he was a day 2 pick a couple of years ago. He's been great the last 2 weeks. And I hope that the rest of this season provides more opportunity for Michael Wilson to show that he is part of the answer here, that he can check off a box so that we don't have to add wide receiver 2 to the grocery list, to the shopping list this offseason. But what does the future hold for Michael Wilson? what does the rest of this season hold for Michael Wilson? The Cardinals, 3-8 this season. Not playing good football. Not playing for anything here the rest of the way. This is a football team that needs to use these final 6 games to get a jump start on 2026, to get a jump start on the work that needs to be done. And you can't go out and sign free agents right now. You can't go out and trade for players for next season. But you can provide a player like Michael Wilson all of the opportunity in the world to stack up performances like the ones he's had over the last 2 weeks so that when we get to the offseason, we can firmly say the Arizona Cardinals have a wide receiver too. And I don't want to do the whole who's the wide receiver one, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Michael Wilson. I don't want to do that. Maybe we'll have that conversation in the offseason, especially if Michael Wilson keeps putting up numbers like the numbers he's putting up. But I don't want the potential return of Marvin Harrison Jr., whether it is this week or it is at some point in the future. I do not want that to be used as an excuse or a reason for Michael Wilson to stop getting the targets, the chances, the opportunities he's gotten over the last 2 weeks. He has shown to you, perhaps more so than Marvin Harrison Jr. has shown to you through his first year and a half as an NFL wide receiver, that you give him opportunity, he takes advantage of said opportunity. So if Marv comes back on Sunday, we still need to have a path to featuring Michael Wilson, because Michael Wilson is going to enter his final year of his rookie deal next year. Wouldn't you as an organization feel really good about things if he had a great end to this season and you could walk into the offseason maybe talking about a little mini extension with Michael Wilson so you don't have to worry about that? You can give him a 2 or 3 year deal, wrap up the final year of his rookie deal into it, and have the wide receiver too under contract to build around whoever's going to play quarterback for this team. Wouldn't it be easier to find that quarterback knowing that you don't also have to go out and find a wide receiver too? And this is kind of a good thing for the regime, but also a bad thing for the regime. The good thing for the regime is you were right. You didn't need to go out and get another wide receiver. You didn't need to spend money in free agency. You didn't need to use draft capital, high-end draft capital on a wide receiver. Feels like you had that guy on the roster already. That's the good thing. They appear to be validated. The bad part is, this is a bad look on the coaching staff. Why did it take this long? Michael Wilson didn't just show up just the last 2 weeks for this team. He was here last year. He was here all of this year. Why did it take up until these last 2 weeks for us to see this version of Michael Wilson, who is creating yards after the catch, who is running great routes, creating separation, making some incredible catches, showing off his athleticism, can do basically anything you ask of him? Why did it take this long for us to see this version? And sometimes it does. Sometimes it just pops at a certain point. But I think it's a bad look for this coaching staff that you had this guy on the roster for the last 2 seasons, and it took until now for us to see this version of him. And so the rest of this season needs to be about continuing to see this version of Michael Wilson. I do not want, and this is continuing a conversation from last week, Marvin Harrison Jr. to come back and Michael Wilson to all of a sudden go back to what his game logs looked like before the last 2 weeks. To me, that's unacceptable. To me, that can't happen. You were trying to build an offense, trying to put together that side of the ball so a quarterback can come in and it can be relatively turnkey, that you are just a quarterback away, because that's what you're going to hear a lot this offseason. You're going to hear a lot of people talk about the Cardinals and say they were hurt and all they needed was a different quarterback. They're going to try to convince you that all of these one-score losses that the Cardinals had, just a couple of their results go their way, and maybe with some better quarterback play this team would have been a playoff team. You're going to hear that. You're going to hear that this spring. The Cardinals are just a quarterback away. If that is truthful, if that turns out to be a true statement, it is going to be because of players like Michael Wilson developing into roles so that draft capital doesn't need to be spent on getting a wide receiver too. Free agent dollars don't need to be spent on getting a wide receiver too. You want to go into this offseason running it back with the GM and the head coach, at least as of right now, that is clear what this organization wants to do. If you want to do that and you want to throw it all at the feet of we need a new quarterback, then it's players like Michael Wilson. It's players like, and I don't know when he's going to come back, Trey Benson coming back and having an important role in this team to show that we actually have the right pieces. We actually did the right thing by not touching the offensive side of the ball. It was just the quarterback. You want me to believe that? Then I have to see when Marvin Harrison Jr. is back, you have the ability to get both of those guys involved. And then don't forget about Trey McBride. There's a lot of football to go around. You're a 3-8 football team. You have an offensive line that isn't very good. You have a banged up running back room. You ran the ball for 2.8 yards a carry the other day against the Jags on Sunday. Let's air it out. Let's get these guys involved. Let's showcase what this passing offense can look like. Let's get Marv his targets. Let's get Michael Wilson his targets. Everybody nowadays has 2 wide receivers. Everybody nowadays has multiple pass-catching targets that can have big days. The Arizona Cardinals, the evolution, is getting to that place. So I want to see if Marv comes back this week against Tampa. Look, Tampa's the perfect example. When healthy, they've got 3 guys to get the ball to. 4 if you want to throw their tight end in there, and Cade Otton. Baker, they spread the ball around. They get everybody involved. You want to be a modern, solid, good, fundamental passing offense in 2025? Got to be able to get the ball to all of your targets. And Michael Wilson is showing to you that he is somebody that deserves, maybe more so than Marv, that opportunity. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to hang out with us here today on the program. You can also watch the show over on our YouTube channel, the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel, and you can chat away with us over there as well. When we come back, it is a Tuesday, which means it's time for us to overreact to all the things we saw in Week 12. We'll do it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
And LSU said, yeah, we've had enough. They've had enough of the experience of Brian Kelly losing 3 out of the last 4, and 2 of which he lost to his coordinator. They were ex-coordinators of him. And the last 3 coaches they've had, they've all won national championship within 4 years. Coach O did it. Les Miles did it. Nick Saban did it. Brian Kelly did not. Yeah, out. Now the question is who they bring in.
Back Coach O.
Can't wait to see who that's going to be. No, I think he burned in bridges.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
Hi, I'm Andy, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a product development manager, I make sure every piece of fine jewelry at Shane Company is meticulously designed for quality. From 14-karat gold chains, pearl necklaces, diamond studs, and of course, dream engagement rings. We know you can get your holiday gifts anywhere these days, but knowing your loved one's gift was crafted by master jewelers? It's a difference everyone can see and feel, no matter the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
During the year-end sales event at Scottsdale Mitsubishi, you can receive 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard right, 0%.
Think how much you'll save when you pay no interest. The name to remember? Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi.
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu. Whether you're craving a Big Mac, McNuggets, or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, make it a meal and save. Your favorite is now your wallet's favorite, too. Extra value meals are back.
Get a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles extra value meal with hash browns and a small premium roast coffee for $5 at McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Promotion pricing may be lower than meal pricing.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You've got brothers.
Huh?
A $50 and $200 bills just like you.
Hey, what's up? What?
We just got them for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're all going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $250 cash bonus when they open a checking account with direct deposit or $50 with a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The Mazda More to Move You sales event is going on now at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale.
Right now, receive 0.9% financing for up to 60 months on some of Mazda's most popular models, like a 25 Mazda CX-5. The name to remember, Mark Mazda, Mark Mazda.
Dynasty Collision, Phoenix's top-rated collision center, covers up to $1,000 of your deductible. Call 602-529-3304. With 5-star reviews and a lifetime warranty, Dynasty Collision is your repair solution. Call now 602-529-3304. Dynasty Collision.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
We owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises. At what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Chris Schubert with you. Producer Evan on the other side of the glass. It's Tuesday. Everybody overreacts on a Monday. We overreact on a Tuesday. Now, I'm assuming producer Evan doesn't want to overreact to what happened to the Carolina Panthers last night on Monday Night Football. You want the music for this? How about this? I'll give you the music for this. You want to talk about it? We've got the time. I'll give you the platform.
It was a tough one.
That's one way to describe it. They kind of needed that one, considering we went through what the rest of their schedule looked like yesterday on the show.
Offense didn't look great. That's okay, though. What I've learned this year, you do not want to play the Panthers coming off a loss.
I'll tell you this.
And to the Rams, they're in a lot of trouble. You do not want to play the Panthers coming off a loss. And let's go from the beginning.
Well, hold on. Because I want to talk about last night's game. I had a huge fantasy matchup on the line in last night's game. I had a 4-point lead. My opponent had Juwan Jennings.
Nice.
I had T-Mac.
Nice.
So the game starts, and it's, 7-3 for the longest time? Whatever it is. And Jennings is the one who catches the touchdown pass. And for the longest time, I'm watching this game, and I'm checking the score, and I'm doing other stuff around the house. And I just see Tedero McMillan, 1 catch, 6 yards. And I'm like, could we maybe get this guy involved? I need you to just not lose by 4 points, please. I'm trying to win the second seed. I'm trying to avoid playing the
to get in.
Well, the 1 seed in this league is undefeated, hasn't lost this season. Now, I think my team can take him down in its current form, but I don't want to face him till the championship unless I have to. So I want that 2 seed. I want to be on the other side of the bracket. I was playing somebody who's kind of breathing down my neck a little bit. That late touchdown from T-Mac sealed the deal. I won by 0.3 of a point.
Nice.
Showed it to my wife after the game was over. I said, I'm the greatest. It's her family. I've taken over her team, so I'm in the league now. She's like, you won by less than a point. Shut up. I'm like, win's a win.
Win is a win.
Win is a win. Overreaction Tuesday.
Real quick, my biggest thing was who was the better quarterback last night?
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Well, you don't have an answer?
No, save this for the news dump. I don't want to do this right now. You gonna tell me it's Bryce Young? Is that what you're gonna tell me? That's it. You're gonna try to convince me in a loss. That's what you're gonna try to convince me today?
Yep. He was. It gets me into my first of reactions.
Okay.
Texans will win a playoff game with how good their defense is.
The Texans will win a playoff game. They've won 3 in a row. They're doing this without C.J. Stroud. The defense is just unbelievable. I mean, I think we mentioned the stat on Friday's show. What is it? 10 passing touchdowns allowed and 12 interceptions. It's just been incredible. Pass defense has been excellent. And it is the type of defense that can steal a game on the road in the postseason, right? When you go through all the different sports, there are certain factors you need to be able to pull off a road upset, right? In hockey, if you just have a goaltender that's hot, you can beat anybody. I don't care who's on the other side. If the goalie's just stopping everything, you don't stand a chance. In basketball, the guy just gets hot and you play him in the 4 games he gets hot, you don't stand a chance. Doesn't matter how good you are defensively. In baseball, your bats go cold. They pick that time to go cold. It's over. In football, if you can play defense and you can run the football, you can beat anybody in the playoffs.
They are 2 games behind the Colts. They have both games left against the Colts. They have them this week in Indy. Remember, they're coming off the Thursday night game, though. So they have about, the mini bye, the old 10-day break.
Now, they do still have to pass Jacksonville, who is in front of them in that division.
Yes, but we don't really. I mean, we saw Jacksonville play up and close this week.
Yeah, that quarterback's not very good.
Jameis Winston over there in Jacksonville.
He's throwing interceptions like he's Jameis Winston, that's for sure. He's not catching passes like he's Jameis Winston.
No.
My first overreaction this week. Somebody's leaving Minnesota at the end of the season. I don't know if it's Kevin O'Connell. I don't know if it's Justin Jefferson. Somebody's leaving. Somebody's going to be playing or coaching someplace else next season. That is a mess right now in Minnesota.
I think 2 people are leaving.
J.J. McCarthy leaving too?
Yep. JJ and Justin, both JJs.
I look at how bad things have gone. I look at a team that is 4-7. Their pick at quarterback, it felt like a reach at the time. It's aging like that. He does not look comfortable. He does not look good under center. And I'm not even mad at them for moving on from Sam Darnold because they drafted him where they drafted him, right? They had Sam Darnold as the backup. They didn't foresee the events that were going to happen. So Sam has that great year. You get to the end. Now, I would have considered franchise tagging Sam for another year, but okay, you want to evaluate what you have in JJ. I can understand. Where they're going to lose a lot of people, you can't double down now. 2 years, he was hurt the first year, underperformance the second year. It's not happening here. They've got a roster that can win football games. They can't spend it trying to develop J.J. McCarthy. Can't do it.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit the roster they have. It doesn't make sense. The Lions are in serious danger of not making the playoffs.
Serious danger of not making the playoffs. They currently are outside of the playoff picture.
Currently the 8th seed. Teams right in front of them, San Francisco, Green Bay, and Seattle. The wildcard teams, Seattle 8-3, Green Bay 7-3-1, San Francisco 8-4 after their win last night.
They have multiple paths, right? They can still come back and win the division. They're only 1 game back of the Bears in the loss column there.
Bears have a win this week.
Who do the Bears play this week?
The Eagles.
You know what? Show me something. Right now, put 3 points on it.
No, then I'm rooting against. That's unfair.
No, it's not. You're talking a big game about how it's an auto victory. Put your money where the mouth is. Use your 3 points on the Bears plus the points.
I don't want to root against my 3-point play.
Then I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about how the Bears have an easy win this week. Show me something. 3 points right now. Boom. Lock it in.
I think it's a 7-point spread. It is a little ridiculous for the Bears.
See? Now all of a sudden you got excuses for why you don't want to pick the Bears. They've got a pathway to win the division. They're technically tied with the 49ers because if they win, they'll have the same record. The 49ers have played 1 extra game. So no, I think this is an overreaction. I don't think they're in danger of making the playoffs because they're still only a half game back of the Packers at 7-3-1 for the 6th seed. They could get in pretty comfortably. I'm not worried about them. And the other thing, too, is there's not a team, storming up behind them that I'm worried about. I'm not worried about Carolina after what I saw last night.
I was going to say, after last night, you're not. Before last night, if Carolina won, they'd be storming.
You're a little worried. You're a little worried. But no, I'm not that concerned about the Detroit Lions missing the postseason. Speaking of missing the postseason, is Buffalo going to miss the playoffs?
That's a real one, too.
Right now, I'll piggyback off of yours. The Bills are 7-4. tied with the Chargers and the Jags, all at 7-4. The problem is Buffalo doesn't have any of the tiebreakers against those teams. So they are behind them. The team directly behind the Bills checks notes, the 6-5 Houston Texans. The Bills can't be tied with them. The Texans beat them. So you look at the teams. Houston has the tiebreaker. Pittsburgh, 6-5, also one game back. The Kansas City Chiefs, I know we said they're done, 6-5, they're also one game back. So
it's interesting with the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't have a single tiebreaker, by the way.
Fair enough, but you've got none of the tiebreakers with the teams in front of you. You've got 1, 2, 3 teams directly behind you, one game. You just need to slip up once. And one of the 3 teams behind you
beat you head-to-head.
Beat you head-to-head. And let's face it, the Bills have not played great this season. The final games they have on their calendar, it's the Steelers this week. I mean, you want to talk about a game that has massive implications. Steelers win that game. Bills are going to be on the outside looking into the playoffs with now the Steelers and the Texans having the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Bills. They play the Eagles. They have a game against the Patriots. They get the Bengals, the Browns, and the Jets. So certainly some chances for them to get wins.
Bengals, Browns, Jets. You would say those are must wins. Here's the way I always look at it. When I talk about the playoffs in the NFL, can you get me to 11? If I get to 11, I'm in.
Well, they're 7-4 right now.
More often than not, I'm in. I need 4 wins. So
I can't get them more than 3 comfortably.
I was going to say, you have those 3 that you feel are comfortable. You have to beat New England. You have to beat one of Philadelphia. You have to beat one of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, those 3 games, Steelers, Pats, Eagles, you need one of them. You need one of them.
That's what it comes down to.
Code with the elbow drop off the top rope here, which I think makes way too much sense. Houston has to get in. Who else is going to play the early Saturday afternoon game on Wild Card Weekend? A tradition like no other. It's an excellent point.
Here's you want to know what my favorite outcome is if Baltimore gets a little bit more hot and Houston passes Indy, and so they have the home playoff game, and you get Chargers going to Houston. I'm taking Houston because the Chargers are going to be like 7-point favorites.
Well, you're locked in
on the road, and Houston. It's going to be so awesome.
You're locked into taking whoever plays the Chargers in the first round of the playoffs.
I just want to say, the Chargers going to Baltimore, they have no chance in that game.
Right now, the Chargers would travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens in the first round. Yes, that's how.
No chance.
By the way, the Ravens, to put a bow on Overreaction Tuesday, back in first place in the AFC North.
Yes, that was not long. We did it on Overreaction Tuesday 3 weeks ago.
They haven't lost. No, I think it was more than that. I think it was a little bit after I got back from my wedding. We've been going a little bit.
Wow, that doesn't feel that long ago, but it kind of was.
I think they've won every game since then, and they went from being 1-5. I think they were 2-5 when I said it. Maybe they were 3-5.
They're so interesting because that offense has been pretty bad recently.
No, it's very bad.
And I have just zero concerns because I believe in Todd Monken. And the quarterback will be fine.
They'll figure it out, right? You assume they will, yeah. 480-864-1060, the phone number. If you want to share your overreactions here today on the Tuesday edition of the program. You can also share them over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel, where we are live streaming the show. You can watch the show over there. When we come back, wrapping up hour number 1 of the Tuesday edition of the lunch break, we got buy or sell next. It's KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Motley Crue, the return of the Carnival of Sins. September 16th, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. The Crew celebrates the 20th anniversary of Carnival of Sins. Motley Crue, with performances by Tesla and Extreme. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Motley Crue, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Sometimes a girl in my class doesn't bring anything to eat for lunch.
The truth is, in America, 1 in 5 kids worry about their next meal.
I want everybody to have yummy food.
So do we. That's why Fry's donates surplus fresh food from our shelves to your local food bank. We've provided over 3.5 billion meals through our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan. Visit friesfood.com to see how you can help fight hunger and waste in our community.
Because nobody should have an empty tummy.
The Kia Season of New Traditions year-end sales event is going on now at Marte Kia in Scottsdale.
Right now, receive 0% APR for 72 months on a brand new 2025 Kia EV6 and 2026 Kia EV9. You heard right, 0%. And if you're thinking about selling or trading your current vehicle, please give us a call. Our data shows that 9 out of 10 times we offer more.
Don't risk losing $1,000 or more by not making that simple phone call. The name to remember, Marte Kia, Marte Kia. My offer expires December 1st, 2025.
Does your student struggle in a traditional school setting? For nearly 25 years, Primavera Online has helped Arizona K-12 students thrive with an accredited tuition-free education from home. Learn more at chooseprimavera.com. That's chooseprimavera.com.
One study found that half of all clients are unhappy with their lawyer. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
That's why we survey our clients to know over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0 going to the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN, but according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Thanks for hanging out with us today here on lunch break. KDUS AM 1060. Wrapping up hour number 1 here of the program. Little buy or sell. Hottest takes in the Valley. Producer Evans got them. I have 2 choices, buy or sell. Does ASU basketball, after their big win last night against Texas, sneak into buy or sell today?
They don't, but what a win.
It's a great win.
What a win.
Maui Invitational, right?
Yeah. That's a serious tournament. Texas is a serious team.
I remember playing the college basketball video games, and it was always, when you took over a team, it was always a mark for you as a program. If the little pop-up came up and said, you've been invited to the Maui Invitational, that's how you knew you made it as a team in these college basketball video games. And now I miss college basketball video games. Last one we had was with Blake Griffin on the cover. NCAA basketball 10 back in 2010.
I don't think I ever played those.
If you enjoy the franchise mode in college football,
I do, yes.
Basketball was on the same level. It was different, but it had the same type of feel to it.
There should be a real quarterback controversy in San Francisco.
I mean, you're just stuck on this today. They won the football game.
He threw 3 picks.
I know they won 2 in a row, though. They're not going to make a change. They just paid him all that money.
Get the Honda Civic back out there.
Listen, don't get me started.
I don't even know if this is like really getting on him. But Corkle Jones was awesome.
The Honda Civic was working. By the way, the Honda Civic may not be for long, by the way. My Honda Civic may not be for long. I'm perusing. I'm looking. May no longer be. It'll work analogy for the show, but I won't have one anymore. Potentially. But no, I'll sell this. They paid them all the money. They've won 2 in a row. They're not going to. There's no quarterback controversy. Well, because what can you do? I mean, the contract has them locked in for at least next year, if not longer. I don't know the specifics of the deal. But I guarantee you there's no way they can get out of the deal for at least another 2 seasons. I'll look while you're telling me the number.
Neither do I, but if you have a chance to win the division, you play them.
Yeah, but right now they're fine. They're winning games. I know he threw 3 picks last night. They won the football game.
No, I understand. 3 picks won't beat anybody.
They can't get out of this deal until 2028.
It didn't look like Kyle Shanahan was all that happy.
Because next year's actually the first year of the extension.
Yeah, no, he's still on the rookie deal.
So You can't cut him. Do you know what the dead money would be if they tried to cut him at the end of this season?
$50 million.
$90.9 million in dead money. Because the extension
it
hasn't kicked in yet.
Make up an injury. Don't play him for the rest of the year.
It's 35.9 last night in 2027. It goes down to 16 in 2028. And you actually save money against the cap. So this is So what did I say? That they could get out of this after what, the first 2 years of the extension? It just so happens that that's 2028. So the final year of his rookie deal, the first 2 years of the extension, he's locked in there.
They should go back to Mac.
I know everybody's going to love to throw it in their face that they paid him all that money. What was the total terms on the deal? 5 years, $265 million, $182 million guaranteed. He counts for $24.7 million against the cap next year, $30.8 the year after that. The years where the cap numbers are super inflated, where it's 57, 72, 64, that he can be cut, and they can save money by doing that. Save cap space. So they're locked in for at least the next 2 seasons. They're going to have to figure this out.
Michael Wilson will finish the season with over 900 yards.
Okay. You know.
So I got it all
thank you.
up for you.
I knew what I was going to ask.
I know what you're going to ask. So Michael Wilson this year, by the way, just a few yards short of his high, is 530.
I'll take the over on Michael Wilson, setting a career high mark in receiving yards.
534 yards. That is just 31 yards from his career high.
I'll take the over.
In the last few games, obviously, he's gone massively big with 185 and 118. So he needs about 365 yards to hit the 900 mark.
He needs how many?
Specifically 366 to hit 900.
I mean, if he's going to get 100 yards a game, we're going to clear this pretty easily. I don't think. I think he gets there. I just don't think he does it in the next 3 weeks. So I'll buy that he gets over 900.
Yeah, I don't think he'll do it in the next 3 weeks.
I mean,
he would need 120 yards a week.
Dude, if Marv continues to be out, he's just going to get 20 targets a game. He is.
For every play up until the game's on the line, we're going to go to Michael Wilson.
Got to throw the ball to Xavier Weaver when you have a chance.
Have to scheme Weaver open.
You got to scheme him open.
3-1 will get the Suns to the next stage of the NBA Cup.
I don't know. It's really going to depend. Do they get blown out by Oklahoma City? Do they blow out Sacramento? I mean, it's really going to come down to the margin of victory. You honestly, you have to go back to your old high school AAU days. You got to run up the score against Sacramento. I'm up 20 in the fourth quarter. Starters are still playing. Like, I need to win by 35-40. Like, I have to blow the doors off of Sacramento on Wednesday. I need the point differential. It matters. That's the tiebreaker. Hour number 2 of the program coming up next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hey, what's up, Arizona? I'm here right now with Diane and Matt from Fisher Tools, and they are celebrating over 60 years of supplying the Arizona construction industry with the tools they need to get the job done. Right, Diane?
That's right, Paul. We've been family-owned for 3 generations, and we're still your go-to for the best tools and supplies in town.
Yeah, we've got everything from Milwaukee to Makita to DeWalt, plus an on-site dielectric glove testing facility to keep you safe while you work.
You know, I love Fisher Tools' commitment to safety and that you're family owned. That is awesome. And another thing that's awesome, I hear you've got a big party coming up. Tell me about that.
Yep. Customer Appreciation Day is December 3rd from 8 to 2. Over 30 vendors, live demos, giveaways, free lunch, and yes, the Big Red Radio crew will be there.
So come for the tools, stay for the food. And don't worry, parking's free.
Well, that sounds like I can't miss a vet. I know I'm going to be there. You guys, you can visit Fisher Tools in Tempe or go online at fishertools.com for more info.
The Maricopa County Air Quality Department encourages everyone to burn cleaner, burn better. Consider converting your existing wood-burning fireplace to gas or electric. And please remember, on no burn days, do not burn wood.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Friday, March 6th. Get Tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails. Live in Glendale. Peel It Back Tour 2026.
Doesn't it make you feel better? It's the most wonderful time of the year.
What makes the holidays the most wonderful time of the year at the Disneyland Resort? It's seeing the skies brightened with unforgettable fireworks, gathering with family for a Christmas fantasy parade, taking in the music, food, and fun of Disney Festival of Holidays, watching the dazzling world of color happiness, and so much more. It's a time filled with joy when the place you know and love is wrapped up in the holiday spirit. And it's made all the more happy during the Disneyland Resort's 70th celebration. So what are you waiting for? The holidays begin here from November 14th through January 7th. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
It's the most wonderful time of the
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2, the lunch break Tuesday edition here on KDUS AM 1060. Thanks for hanging out with us. Chris Schubert here with you. We've got the NFL news dump. We've got the Schubert Scale after week 12 to get to today, but we start hour number 2 with a little baseball because the noise circulating around Ketel Marte just will not go away. It was John Morosi this morning on MLB Network describing it as a 50-50 chance that Ketel Marte gets moved. He added that the Diamondbacks are actively listening to offers on Ketel Marte. And Morosi went a step further and provided 2 teams that have been very active in their pursuit of Ketel Marte, the Philadelphia Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays. And Morosi made sure to add that those 2 teams do not appear on Ketel Marte's currently limited no trade list. So he does not need to sign off or give approval to be traded to Philadelphia and to Toronto. And so you add all of that up and Ketel Marte's name at the center of the baseball world once again. Couple of key things to point out. One, Morosi calling it 50-50. That doesn't mean a whole lot. Everything is 50-50 most of the time when it comes to making a trade or not making a trade. There needs to be actual offers that sway that 50-50. The more important piece of information is that Morosi said the Diamondbacks are actively listening to offers. That means they are, as longtime listeners of this show will know, doing what we advocate for all the time. They're picking up the phone. They're answering. They're listening. They're not dialing out. They're not sending trade proposals to Philly, sending trade proposals to Toronto and saying, hey, would you do this? They're fielding the incoming phone calls. Philly's calling and saying, hey, would you move Ketel Marte for this, this, and this? And Diamondbacks, at least as of to this point, because if the answer was yes, the deal would have been made by now. They're saying, no, we wouldn't do that. That constitutes actively listening, picking up the phone, answering the phone call, and having a dialogue. Doesn't mean they're any closer to moving Ketel Marte. It doesn't mean they're more committed to moving Ketel Marte. But I will say this, isn't this exactly what we talked about towards the tail end of the season, the beginning of the offseason, that this was the story that wasn't going to go away until the beginning of the year, until Ketel Marte was on the roster and playing on opening day, that we were going to have another moment in time where Ketel Marte's name popped up and we would have to discuss it, if not a couple of times. And here we are. After a big trade over the weekend between Texas and the Mets, a trade this morning between the Red Sox and the Cardinals for Sonny Gray, you're starting to see some activity. You're starting to see teams thaw this hot stove a little bit. And I think some big-time free agents will start to get moved a little bit after Thanksgiving. Don't expect a whole lot the remainder of this week, although maybe over the weekend you start to see some stuff. I can remember a couple of years ago, it was after Thanksgiving. It might have even been Black Friday, where a bunch of moves started to trickle in, and that kind of started things for the baseball offseason. You're seeing a couple of trades. We know the Diamondbacks are going to probably be heavily involved in the trade market, and Ketel Marte's name is coming up. I find it interesting that the two teams mentioned, the Blue Jays and the Phillies, don't need his approval. That's an interesting wrinkle. So the Diamondbacks can really go for the best trade package possible between those two teams. They're not dealing with one team that's on his no-trade list and one team that isn't. That complicates you maximizing your return. Now the Blue Jays and Phillies have to beat one another. They have to beat those deals if they want the Diamondbacks to say yes to trading Ketel Marte. But as of this moment, I don't know how you feel, Producer Evan. I think this is mostly a nothing burger, although I am starting to maybe walk back my previous thoughts a little bit because his name is just so out there, and it was out there in such a big way this morning with the way Morosi was talking. And Morosi was talking, even though he used the words 50-50, because you listened to the clip when I played it in the morning meeting, he sounded like a guy who thought Ketel Marte was getting traded. He sounded like a guy who thought that it was maybe close to happening, that there have been tangible offers sent across by Philly and by Toronto. That's the way it felt to me. And so I wonder if we've moved a little closer to this happening. I still don't think so. I still think Ketel Marte only gets moved as part of a larger type deal, like a Tarek Skubal type move. But I don't know. We're at that point of the winter where nothing's off limits. Everything's on the table.
I actually think this report this morning made me think it's more likely he gets moved. I've heard Toronto's name come up a few times. It feels like a likely landing spot, especially if they don't bring back Bo Bichette. And this is a trade that's kind of been talked about for a year and a half, 2 years. This isn't the first time we've had Ketel Marte's name come up. Probably and most certainly won't be the last. I just have this weird feeling that this offseason, given all the things they need to do, if I can fill a few holes by moving Ketel Marte, I have so much I need to do. If I feel like I can get a jump start on it by moving one player, I think they do it.
Well, and Ketel Marte is the player that can do that for you, right? And you're not trading Corbin Carroll. You're not trading Geraldo Perdomo. Those are the other two players that probably fit that bill. But there's nobody singularly on this roster that would generate more in a return than Ketel Marte. I don't think there's anybody in the organization that can get you back multiple of the needs that you need to fill more than Ketel Marte can. He's one of the best players at his position. He's on one of the best, most affordable contracts in the sport. He is a player that when he is healthy and on the field and playing for you is an MVP candidate. He's a middle-of-the-order bat that immediately is an instant upgrade to your offense. I mean, how many of those players are out there? Sure, you can go get Kyle Tucker in free agency. It's going to cost you $450 million. Sure, you can go sign Kyle Schwarber, but you have to take the limitations of he's not that great of a defender. He's not going to hit 275. He's just going to hit a ton of home runs. Sure, you can put him in the middle of your lineup. He's also going to cost $30+ million a season. Like, you can go out and solve that need offensively if you are a team that's interested in Ketel Marte by signing one of these free agents, or you can trade some prospects. You can trade a little of your big league talent and get somebody who's on a super affordable deal, who plays a premium position and plays it pretty well in second base, and is going to be a perennial MVP candidate for at least the next couple of seasons. There's nobody else in the Diamondback system that has that profile, maybe outside of Corbin Carroll, that would generate the type of return that the Diamondbacks kind of need this offseason, because they're not going to be able to do everything via free agency. That's why I keep coming back to this conversation, because it is in some ways the Willy Wonka golden ticket. It feels like the ultimate get out of jail free card. It feels like the way they can do all of this and still field a competitive team next year despite subtracting Ketel Marte.
And that's the biggest thing. He's not their only piece, right? You brought it up. With how good Geraldo Perdomo was, I think that jump starts the idea of, hey, we can move on from Ketel. Because now we have that switch hitter in our lineup who we know can produce offensively, who we know is a mainstay of our defensive infield. I think having a guy like Perdomo play as well and come onto the scene as he did last year gives you the freedom mentally to say, hey, what if we did move on from Ketel Marte to really jumpstart this next step into Diamondbacks baseball? Because if you feel that you can get Corbin Burnes back later in the year, then you still think 2026 is a competitive season for the Diamondbacks. And if moving Ketel Marte gets you to that competitive season, I know I have Corbin Carroll. I know I have Gabby Moreno. I know I have Geraldo Perdomo. That's something I seriously entertain if I can go get myself another bat and maybe a few arms.
And I think it's okay to explore this if you go into it, if you're Mike Hazen, and just set non-negotiables. I have to get X, Y, and Z back. And anything short of X, Y, and Z, I'm automatically saying no, even if it means a team walks away from the table. I have to get X, Y, and Z. If I don't get a young bat to potentially replace Ketel Marte, if I don't get a starting pitcher that immediately is major league ready and fills into my rotation with one of the two spots I have open, and if I also don't get whatever it wants to be, a dart throw at another spot, whatever the ideal trade package in Mike Hazen's mind is for Ketel Marte. If the Phillies offer falls short, if the Blue Jays offer falls short, then the answer is no. And it's okay to say no. You're not up against it. There's no clock ticking on his contract running out. There is no urgency like maybe there is in Detroit to move Skubal, who's going to be a free agent at the end of 2026. And so if you don't cash in now, you're giving yourself one more opportunity to cash in by trading him at the trade deadline. Then that's it. There's urgency. Deadline spur action. If you're Mike Hazen, you have to be overwhelmed. You have to get that Godfather offer or else it's no dice. That to me has to be the non-negotiable. I and my player development, my baseball operations department, we're going to come together and we're going to have a meeting. And I guarantee you this has already happened. What do we want in a Ketel Marte trade? A, B, C. Okay. Phillies call. What is A, B, and C from the Philadelphia Phillies? And guess what? That might make the Phillies say, no, thank you. That might be a trade package that makes Phillies fans storm Philly Sports Talk Radio. And no, we don't. I don't want to do this. No, this is a bad trade. No, Ketel Marte is overrated. He's a bum. Whatever they're going to say. But you stay true to what your non-negotiables are so that you can get the best possible deal. Because after you trade Ketel Marte, you don't have another trade chip like this unless you are willing to really tear this thing down and move somebody like a Corbin Carroll or Geraldo Perdomo. And I don't even think that's the fact that I even uttered it out loud. I think I'm in trouble. And I don't even work for the organization. I think just mentioning that, I'm in trouble. That's a non-starter.
Those two guys.
That's a non-starter.
Those are guys that are conversationally, they don't even come up.
No, you don't bring them up as an opposing GM because you just know.
And my biggest question in all of this is, has the recent stories come to light? Is that hurting Ketel Marte's value in the trade market?
No, because I just keep going back to he's at worst, a top 5 player at his position.
At worst.
At worst, he's a top 5 second baseman, right? Can also play some center field in a pinch for you. And is on one of the best contracts in baseball. Like, that's going to create value.
Yeah, all those things.
There's nothing that's going to be able to penetrate those bullet points. There's going to be nothing that tells me that changes his contract, that changes that he, at this stage of his career, is still a top 5 player at his position. That's going to create value no matter if he's talked about, not talked about too much, not talked about enough. The profile speaks for itself.
And the contract helps so much.
The contract is, I think, the biggest drawing point for other teams.
I agree. I think that's the biggest factor.
Yeah, I think it's a huge draw.
He's on one of the most team-friendly contracts for a superstar like him I've ever seen.
I mean, I want to look at where his AAV ranks in baseball.
I don't remember a star on a team like Ketel Marte having such a team-friendly contract and also getting the conversations if he's not a great teammate. Like, it is kind of wild just given the contract he's on.
Yeah.
And I understand both sides of it. I really do.
You think is he in the top 25
of AAV?
Yeah.
I'll say no.
I have to see how. This isn't in numerical order, so there's no numbers next to these names. But I have to find them. Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte is AAV $19.4 million.
Yeah, no chance that's in a touch. Like off the rip, there are four guys on the Mets making more, three guys on the Phillies making more, if not more than that.
I'm just counting up.
And that's not the highest on the D-backs. I think he's barely in the top 50 of AAV.
I'm already at 20. That's 30. 31, 32, 33. That's 40.
20 million a year is nothing. Nothing in the grand scheme of things.
He's outside the top 50 in AAV. He's like 50. He's closer to 60. He's like 57, 58. I mean, it's one of the most team-friendly deals in the sport right now. It just doesn't get any better than that. And so that is an asset to the Arizona Diamondbacks. It is an asset to have that type of player on a team that we know is dealing with a very defined budget, and they don't have the money that other teams can spend. And so having a player that is that good on that team-friendly of a deal, that's something that you don't want to give up. But you also understand it is also an asset, and it also can help you get out of the mess that you find yourself in. But you only get one swing at this. You only get one shot. So if you're going to do it, you have to hit the mark. And that's why I think it will ultimately come back to they can't find a deal that hits that mark. I think their ask is going to be sky high, as it should be, that nobody hits. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to hang out with us here today on the program. When we come back, it's Tuesday, which means we've got to do the NFL news dump, all of the top stories from the world of football. We will get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think they average 26 years old, Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan machine, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. The Marshall Tucker Band. Get ready for a night of legendary Southern rock and sing along to all the classics. The Marshall Tucker Band with special guest Firefall, bringing their timeless hits. February 28th at the Celebrity Theater. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. The Marshall Tucker Band and Firefall, brought to you by Danny Salisco Presents.
The Mazda More to Move You sales event is going on now at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale.
Right now at Mark Mazda, receive 0.9 APR for 60 full months on some of Mazda's most popular models, like a 25 Mazda CX-5. And don't know what to do with your trade? We'll give you a minimum $8,000 for any trade, no matter what shape it's in, as long as it runs based on the actual MSRP.
And if $8,000 is the minimum, think what your good trade might be worth. The name to remember? Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda on Crew Credit Plus 98.fee.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Hellsberg Gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop our Black Friday event for up to 65% off in-store or at hellsberg.com.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. In Kyle Shanahan's system, the quarterback's job isn't to be Josh Allen, it's to be John Stockton. Distribute, read the defense, keep the offense humming, and avoid the kind of mistakes that derail the offense's operation. Brock Purdy has done a remarkable job good enough to guide the Niners to a Super Bowl. But last night, it wasn't that. 3 picks short-circuited an offense built to overwhelm defenses with precision and rhythm. Now, one bad game won't shake the foundation, and it shouldn't. Purdy's contract, his efficiency, command of Shanahan's offense, all of that has earned him the right to stay under center. The Niners aren't polling him for Mac Jones off one rough outing. Still, it's the NFL. Struggles don't live in isolation. If this becomes a pattern, if the turnovers linger, then suddenly the Niners have something other teams crave. A legitimate plan B, and Mac Jones may be the best backup in football. Purdy's still the guy, but the leash goes shorter when the system needs a steward and not a gunslinger. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Maaco's running a paint sale right now, starting at just $499. How about that? Now, if you've been thinking about maybe doing something with your car, don't pass up this opportunity, okay? There's dents, dings, chip paint. Maaco's seen it all. But for this price, take advantage of that, and you could give your ride a fresh look. Free estimate. They'll work with your budget. They'll get the job done fast. No pressure, no judgment, a fresh start, and you're going to have a national warranty to accompany it. And they're community-based, great people to work with, somebody you can trust to make your car look nice. A fresh ride. They've been doing it for over 50 years, and it's easier than ever for you to take advantage of this. Your car could use a little love. Now's the time. But don't wait. These paint sales will not last long. Visit Maaco, that's MAACO.com, and find the nearest location. Schedule that free estimate. And with the paint sale starting at just $499, your car is going to look awesome. Better get Maaco.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs, 2 doubles. They also walked him 5 times, 4 intentionally. They've gotten to the point where he's getting Bonds treatment. I want you to pitch in shame. If you're going to intentionally walk him, I want you to throw the 4 pitches that look silly because you don't want to face him. I don't want it to be, hey, we're going to walk him and I point him to first base. Nope. I want you to acknowledge that you can't get him out and you throw those 4 pitches.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m., right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app.
A lot of football for us here today on the program. It is Tuesday, which means we got to do the NFL news dump. Also got the Schubert Scale and Evans Risers coming up here on the other side. So let's get right to it. What is on the menu today?
We'll start with recapping Monday Night Football. The Niners edge out the Panthers 20-9 in what was a slugfest.
The literally was a slugfest at the end of the game. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but
there was.
It was literally a slugfest. I just throwing hands.
Yeah, it was a fight. It was a full fight.
Also, I don't know why we're punching with helmets on.
That happens more often than you would think.
Yes,
it can't hurt. It can't not hurt.
Of course, it's stupid. I'm gonna break your hand. The 8-4 San Francisco 49ers. Just the Honda Civic, man. It's not pretty, but it gets you from point A to point B, and it's going to get this team into the postseason.
Real upset about my 6-6 Panthers.
I think it's over.
Whoa.
I didn't want to do it, but I think it's over.
It's not over.
I think it's over.
It's not over. 6-6 Panthers are in a better spot than a lot of teams.
Yeah, they're in a better spot than the Cardinals.
Certainly. They are in. I'm going to give you all the teams that I believe they're in a better spot.
By the way, you play that game now, Panthers win.
Yeah, the Cardinals game?
Yeah, you play that game this week, Panthers win.
To me, the Panthers are in a better spot. Spot I'd rather be than the Cowboys. And, yeah, that's about it out of contenders.
So that's not a long list for you there.
No, it's not very long. Now, it could be. They could be in a better spot than the Packers or the Lions, given those two teams have to play each other next week. Your thoughts on that take?
I think the Panthers are done. That's my thought on that take.
Okay. We'll see.
I'm hereby ending the Panthers season today here on the program.
Wow. If the Panthers...
if they win the game last night, they're an HM.
Hold off 1 week. So the Panthers beat the Rams next week.
They're not beating them.
You're going to be like,
They 3 picks last night. They couldn't win. They scored 9 points. You want me to pick them against the Rams?
Yeah, the Rams had 4 picks last week and scored 21.
I may do something for the first time in the history of the show. Stand by.
What are you going to do?
Just stand by. You can go to your next story if you want.
Okay, my next story. Joe Burrow. Looks like he's going to play Thursday. And this is kind of a must-win for the Ravens. So, little Thanksgiving return for Joe Burrow. Any chance they could beat the Ravens on Thanksgiving?
0 chance, no. Well, I shouldn't say 0 chance because Baltimore hasn't been playing great. But Lamar's back at practice today. So he's not, at least on Tuesday. They play on Thursday. He's practicing, so they're not sitting out. I'd like to make something official. My 3-point play this week, Rams minus 10.5 against the Carolina Panthers.
10.5. No chance they cover 10.5.
10.5 is what the number is right now.
You're not watching this Panthers team enough. You got to remember, that's a Niners team that beat the Rams this year.
Are you allowing me to lock it in or not?
Oh, you can lock it in.
Yeah. 3-point play this week. Rams minus 10.5 against the Panthers in Carolina.
Okay. My 1-point play this week. Panthers plus 10.5 in LA.
It's a 4 points. No, it's in Carolina. You don't even know where your team's playing. You don't even know where your team is playing. My word. It's your team. You're trying to convince me to not do the play. You don't even know where the game's being played.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Are you a little nervous?
Not at all.
Let's check the weather in Carolina.
I'm not worried at all. We can run the ball.
Let's check the weather in Carolina.
We can run the ball.
Ooh, listen, we know. Where do they actually play?
Oh, my word. Is it still Bank of America Stadium?
Yeah. I wonder if I can just type that.
I think if you type in Bank of America Stadium, I think you'll be close.
Bank of America.
Are there other stories to get to in the NFL news dump, or are we just going to stay here?
Yes, we are. You said I can't find the weather. Joe Burrow, yes, you said they still have 0 chance with Joe Burrow on the field.
I mean, it's Joe Burrow, and they do, but their defense is very bad. This feels like a chance for Baltimore's offense to get right.
Isaiah Pacheco, despite his injury, is likely to play on Thursday versus the Cowboys. That's an interesting game for both teams. The Cowboys at 5-5-1.
How about this? The rare all 3 Thanksgiving games being good. Name me the last time that's happened.
I mean, good's a stretch in the last one.
What are you talking about? It's Joe Burrow against Lamar Jackson. Like
Joe's first game back
if it was
in
Joe
6
Flacco,
months.
I would agree with you, but it's Burrow, Lamar. We got 3 great games.
You ready for my take?
Oh, please. That's what we do here on the show.
I think the winner of that Chiefs-Cowboys game could get in.
Oh, would you say this is a elimination game?
I think this is an elimination game.
Loser is out?
Loser's out. Because that would put the Cowboys at 5-6-1. I think you would have to win out at 10-6-1 because then you would beat all the 10-7 teams, but still lose the 11-win teams. I think you would have to win out if you're the Cowboys.
Yeah, I
think if you're the Chiefs, because of all the tiebreakers, if you get to 6 losses, you also need to win out.
This isn't half bad. I like this take. Chiefs Cowboys elimination game this Thursday.
Elimination.
So you're locked in 1-point play. Panthers plus the 10.5.
I'm locked in. Okay. 1-point play. Rams have officially leapfrogged the Eagles for Super Bowl favorites.
I mean, duh. Eagles can't score points. Rams can. A lot of them. Right now, the road to the Super Bowl goes through Inglewood. So, yeah, the Rams are the favorites in the NFC. The Rams should be the favorites to win the whole thing. Spoiler alert, the Rams are going to be the top team in the next segment.
Wow. Are you jumping that early?
Yes.
Last story I got for you. Little Hall of Fame talk.
Okay.
Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers are among the top 2026 finalists for the class of 2026. The other names include Eli Manning,
okay,
Frank Gore,
okay,
Fred Taylor,
all right,
Larry Fitzgerald.
That's what you should have led with. For this market, for this program, should have led with Larry.
I totally agree. Can I be very honest with you?
You didn't click on
No,
the story.
you just have to scroll to the next page to get to receivers. So it started with quarterbacks, running backs, and then I kept scrolling.
Okay.
I got to receivers and tight ends.
So I have the full list if you want.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Drew Brees, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers as the quarterbacks. Frank Gore and Fred Taylor as the running backs. Larry Fitzgerald, Torrey Holt, Steve Smith Sr., Hines Ward, and Reggie Wayne is the wide receiver room. I mean, just put them all in.
I was going to say, that's a great one.
Jason Witten as the tight end. Adam Vinatieri as special teams. Marshall Yanda, Steve Wyszynski, Richmond Webb, Jahari Evans, Lomas Brown, and Willie Anderson as the offensive line. The defensive linemen, Robert Mathis, Vince Wilfork, and Kevin Williams. Luke Kuechly, Terrell Suggs as the linebackers. And the DBs, Rodney Harrison, Earl Thomas, Darren Woodson. That's the group. That's the semifinalists for the class of 2026. Oh, you're hitting me with a forks up.
Terrell Suggs.
Don't know if he'll get in.
Forks up.
I hear you, but I don't know.
I really hope Luke Kuechly becomes a first-team Hall of Famer.
Luke Kuechly, a very underrated player.
Very underrated.
Especially at that position.
The best, second best linebacker of my lifetime.
The first being?
Patrick Willis.
Thought you might have gone Urlacher, but that's a little...
Yeah, it's a little early.
a little early for you. Patrick Willis was pretty good.
Patrick Willis and Luke Kuechly were always... Yeah. From my age of growing up, those were the two guys.
I mean, I think the modern is Fred Warner.
Yeah. I mean, this year he got hurt. I think it's incredible the amount of games Fred Warner has played in, given the position he plays. It's incredible.
Yeah, he's been great.
Because the one thing with Patrick Willis and Luke Kuechly is couldn't really stay on the field all that much.
Couldn't stay on the field.
That's all I got.
There you have it then, the NFL News Dump for Week 12. When we come back, I spoiled who's at number 1, but who fills out the rest of the top 5 of the Schubert Scale and who makes it as an honorable mention. Plus, we've got Evans Risers. All of it when we come back. It's the lunch break. Thanks for hanging out with us. KDUS, AM 1060.
Before Thanksgiving here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lumberjacks as they look to face off against Southeast Missouri State. With head coach Shane Burkhardt at the helm, the Lumberjacks are ready to show off their skills this Wednesday night. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live from the Roll Activity Center. It's NAU versus Southeast Missouri State. Pregame at 5:30 p.m. and tip-off at 6 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
If you don't have gas in your home, but something doesn't smell good. Ew, what's that smell? If it smells like rotten eggs, there could be a leak in your neighborhood. Now what do I do? If you suspect a leak, move fast, call 911 and Southwest Gas.
From a safe location.
But I don't have natural gas in my home. Gas lines are buried all around, so even if you don't have gas. I know, call 911 and Southwest Gas.
This winter, step into a world of wonder at the Tianyu Lights Festival, open now through January 4th at Camelback Ranch, Glendale, and Phoenix. Explore the 4 new themes: Bugs Aglow, Colors of Holidays, Rainforest, and Prehistoric Animals, which feature 70 glowing handcrafted lanterns. Enjoy delicious foods and beverages at our food court, explore the interactive lanterns, and complete your visit with a trip to the marketplace where you'll find unique souvenirs. Don't miss this unforgettable holiday experience. Tickets are available now.
Hi, Jan from Toyota here to let you know that Toyotathon is on. And what better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota, like RAV4, Grand Highlander, and Corolla Cross. But to really get in the spirit, let's sing about it. So without further ado, Driving through the snow in a new RAV4, hooray! To the slopes we go in a Highlander for a ski day. A Camry to get hot cocoa, tubing with a Tundra makes the kids go loco. Oh, what fun it is to make holiday wishes come true. Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon is on. Oh, what fun it is to drive a new Toyota today. Hey, presto, a new holiday classic. All right, let's sing it again.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers on these vehicles end December 1st. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 5th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Have you guys tried these holiday cookies? Are so good.
Toyota, let's go places.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
ASU women's basketball continues right here on KDUS AM 1060. The Lady Sun Devils this Tuesday get ready to play host to Utah Tech. With Coach Molly Miller at the helm, ASU looks to reach new heights this season and prove themselves on the court. Tune in as ASU looks to win over the Bison. It's ASU women's basketball this Tuesday night. Pregame at 6 p.m. and tip-off at 6:30 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The Schubert Scale for week 13 in the NFL. Week 12 is done. We're into week 13. How I see the NFL, my top 5. We've also got the honorable mentions. We'll get to Evan's risers as well. We start with my HMs, 3 of them. And these are 3 teams that I can't remember the last time they were down here in the HMs. We start with a team that has reemerged. They are back in the conversation to be a part of the Schubert Scale. Welcome back, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. I know they're only 6-5. They've won 5 games in a row. They are back in first place in the AFC North. The offense has been a major question mark, but I think most of it can be boiled down to Lamar Jackson dealing with all of these injuries, and he seems extremely compromised. So as his health gets better and better, I think the offense will look better and better. And what is a better way to get right than to play the Cincinnati Bengals defense here on Thursday night? So I got Baltimore as an HM. They played last night. We haven't talked about them much this season, but they are certainly a team to keep an eye on. They are the Honda Civic of the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers. It doesn't matter who's under center. They just keep on chugging along. It doesn't matter that they had to void the guarantees of one of their wide receiver contracts. It doesn't matter the injuries that they have faced as a team. They've got one of the best coaches on the planet. They have one of the best overall players on the planet in Christian McCaffrey, and they just seem to find ways to get it done. And boy, how the mighty have fallen. The Philadelphia Eagles, an HM this week. I said I'm out. I don't want to go from being in the top 5 to being all the way out. So we just move them down to the HMs. We give them an opportunity to respond, to do something, to salvage it. But I'm done with this team. I don't care how great your defense is. You had a 21-0 lead in Dallas, and you allowed it to evaporate. That's not going to get it done in the postseason. So Philly, at one point, the number 1 team. Always in the top 3. Basically the entirety of the season. Now an HM. My number 5. It wasn't exactly the bounce back that we thought it was going to be, but they're back in the win column. Now with Philly not playing well, they may have that number 2 position, although I have one other NFC team in that number 2 spot, the Seattle Seahawks. Welcome back to the top 5. The bounce back that they needed, it was a win. It was closer than it should have been, but it's a road game. West Coast team traveling east. You put all those caveats on it. They took care of business. They got the win. They can move on and try to continue to keep pace with the Los Angeles Rams. At number 4, I don't think it's sustainable, but I had them as an HM last week. They win. They're 8-3. They're leading the division. Again, their quarterback is completing under 60% of his passes, so I don't know if they're long for this world, but the Chicago Bears at number 4, because at the end of the day, what keeps you on this list is winning football games. And the Bears have been doing a lot of winning despite their quarterback not having the most friendly numbers when the game is over. At number 3, the number 2 team in the AFC, the 9-2 Denver Broncos. What have we said about this team all year? Doesn't have to be pretty. You just have to win. That's what they've been doing. They're in the number 3 spot. Speaking of winning and not looking pretty, how about the New England Patriots, who are now at number 2? 9 wins in a row. Do you know how hard it is to win 9 games in a row in the NFL? Didn't slip up at all. And it was ripe for you to slip up over the weekend. And they didn't. And the number 1, I teased it earlier. How about the Los Angeles Rams at number 1? The best quarterback in football right now. I think the best coach in football right now. A team that is playing the best football right now. All roads to the Super Bowl go through Englewood, California. They go through SoFi Stadium. They go through Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, and the Los Angeles Rams, who are not just about a quarterback. They're about a good running back. They're about 2 great wide receivers. They're about a defense that can create pressure. They are the total package. And they have shown that with how well they have played through the first 11 games. There you have it, the Schubert Scale for Week 13.
I like it. I mean, I disagree with your list, but I like it. My HMs.
Carolina and HM this week for Evans Risers. Congratulations.
The Seattle Seahawks as an HM this week. Listen, I don't really care. You threw 4 picks in the biggest game of the year.
It's true.
And you beat Tennessee by 6.
It's true. Both accurate statements, yes.
You have to fall a little. Number 2 of my HMs, Baltimore Ravens. 5 in a row.
I love it.
The offense
You're with me.
hasn't even started rolling yet. And once Lamar gets it back on the tracks, this team's going to run away with that division. Could be a 3 seed in the AFC by the time it's all said and done. My last HM, you had him in the scale. I have him just out. Even the Chicago Bears. The Bears, listen, 8-3. He's 8-3.
I had him as an HM last week, and they just keep winning.
8-3 is 8-3, and it doesn't always look pretty for the Chicago Bears, but they get it done, and I believe in Ben Johnson. And despite what people think about Caleb Williams,
he's completing under 60% of his passes.
I give him credit. The guy gets out of situations like I've never seen, and they are a big play waiting to happen.
Yeah,
so
completing less than 60% of his passes.
For an 8-3 football team.
Name me the last time a quarterback with those numbers did anything in the postseason. That's why I think this is short-lived, but hey.
I can name you one. Broncos won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning.
You really want to do the Caleb Williams' Peyton Manning thing right now?
No, you asked the question, and I said, gave you the answer.
Okay. We'll see if Caleb Williams can put his name on that list.
Okay. Trent Dilfer.
I'll take the field.
My official Evans Risers, the number 5 team. It's the Green Bay Packers.
I don't know what to do with that team. I really
They're
don't.
so interesting.
I know.
They're so interesting. And I think
them and Detroit both couldn't make the HMs this week.
In all seriousness, I have them at 5 because I think they'll beat Detroit this week. And so I put
a little bit of a hedge.
A little bit of a hedge.
Okay.
So that Detroit can climb back in with a win.
Okay.
And Green Bay can kind of sit there with a win. So I'm right now, Packers is a placeholder at 5 because what I've learned about the league, there's not that many great teams.
No, honestly, the easiest thing today was 1 and 2.
And then it's a grab bag.
And then it's really dealer's choice. It's whatever you feel. Like I think it's clear Rams 1, Patriots 2.
I agree.
And then after that, beauty's in the eye of the beholder with these teams.
It really is.
Nobody's really standing out after those 2 teams, in my opinion.
My number 4 team, I had him at 1 last week. I didn't drop him all the way to the HMs. That felt a little unfair.
By the way, Code, once again pointing out that you're doing the CFP thing, where you're setting yourself up for the following weeks.
I do. I totally do it, Code. I have the Eagles at 4. Listen, 8-3 is 8-3. If I said that for the Bears, I have to say it for the Eagles. That is true. No matter what I believe, They beat my number 5 team on the list. They beat the number 1 team on the list. They beat the Detroit Lions. What else do I want them to do other than maybe they could have beaten the Broncos too, who also are 3 on my list? So I don't know what to do. So they're at 4. Number 3, I just gave it away. The Denver Broncos. Defense is awesome.
Yeah.
They need Bo Nix to make 3 plays a game.
Pretty much.
And sometimes he doesn't do that. So twice this year he hasn't done that. So they're 9-2.
So I think we see the top 3 teams in football the same right now.
Yeah. Number 2, the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Enough said. You said it all with your piece. 9 straight wins. Enough said.
You know how hard that is?
Like it's incredibly hard.
Really difficult. And there were times where they could have been beaten. Like the Bengals had a 2-score lead on them on Sunday. And they just find ways. They're really talented. Drake May's special, man.
And my number 1 team, it's the Los Angeles Rams. I will tell you, though, they don't like playing in the cold weather.
They don't have to right now.
And they're going to Carolina this week. It was a trip-up place for the Cardinals last year. Is it going to be a trip-up this late in the season for the LA Rams? It's tough putting the Rams at 1 for me, in all seriousness. And can I tell you why?
Please.
It's tough because I am a McVay believer. I've said on this show how much of a McVay believer I am. But they're at a weird point where McVay's 0-5 against Nick Sirianni.
Mm-hmm.
He's 5-2 against Dan Campbell, but has lost both playoff games against Dan Campbell. And I know the Lions may not be in.
Uh-oh. I just looked at the weather for Charlotte, North Carolina on Sunday. I might have made a mistake.
It's snowing in Charlotte.
No, it's 55, but there's going to be a little rain early.
Rico. You did not want Rico.
I'll stand by the pick because I believe in the Rams, but I wish it was the weather that it's going to be tomorrow in Charlotte where it's 74 and just a little cloudy.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would have been great. That would have been the perfect weather, but we'll see how it pans out. Sorry, continue.
My Rams are the number 1. The Rams are the number 1 team,
your
but my
Rams. I love it. I love it. Your Rams.
But my concerns about the Rams stand true. Going on the road if they have to in the playoffs.
Yeah, so far that's not a problem, but if they trip up this week, and it would be tripping up, they're 10.5-point favorites on the road. If they trip up this week and they slip and they fall to the 2 seed, or they fall even further and they then have to go on the road, I think it's a fair question to ask considering the history. There you have it. Evans Risers, the Schubert Scale for week 12 here, or week 13, I should say, in the NFL. We've got one more before we hand things off to Jim Rome at the top of the hour. It is all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. We call them the leftovers. We'll get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
And LSU said, yeah, we've had enough. They've had enough of the experience of Brian Kelly losing 3 out of the last 4, and 2 of which he lost to his coordinator. They were ex-coordinators of him. And the last 3 coaches they've had, they've all won national championship within 4 years. Coach O did it. Les Miles did it. Nick Saban did it. Brian Kelly did not. Yeah, out. Now the question is who do they bring in.
Back Coach O.
Can't wait to see who that's going to be. No, I think he burned in bridges.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Santa came early to Tim Hovik Santan Ford. Ho, 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 yeah. We've got 0 down, 0% financing, and 0 payments for 90 days. We're taking thousands off MSRP on new 25 Explorers, Escapes, F-150 Super Duty, Lightnings, Mach-E's, and more. We know affordability matters this holiday, so Tim Hovik Santan Ford is doing the unthinkable. 0 down, 0%, 0 payments till next year with thousands off MSRP. Get in now, because these Black Friday deals, they will not make it to December. Tim Hovik Santan Ford, online at santanford.com.
This holiday season, elevate your event at Talking Stick Resort. From breathtaking views and a world-class golf course to 113,000 square feet of flexible event space, every detail sets the stage for an unforgettable holiday party. Whether it's cocktails under the stars or a fully produced banquet with state-of-the-art AV, Talking Stick has it all. plus a luxurious spa for next day recovery. Secure your celebration today. Talking Stick Resort, Scottsdale's premier destination for celebration. Life well played.
Fridays at 5, I'm out exploring. From hiking up Camelback to skiing at Snowbowl, the adventures never stop with AAA. It's membership that travels with me, whether behind the wheel or a passenger, in my ride, my buddies, or a rental. AAA's got 24/7 expert help with tows, battery help, and more. Plus, branch services like free passport photos and trip planning. Membership gives you all this and more for less than $6 a month, and I can add loved ones for half off. Call or visit your local branch today. AAA, your membership to go.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract, play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrapping up the Tuesday edition here of the lunch break. Thanks for hanging out with us. A reminder, we're off on Thursday and Friday, so we'll get a Football Wednesday edition of the show for you tomorrow. We'll try to get through it all. Certainly a lot. We've got a look ahead to do. We've got picks to make. We've got Suns basketball to get you ready for. So just buckle up for tomorrow's show. We're going to get through a lot in 2 hours.
Is tomorrow the busiest show we've ever had since I've been here?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say since you've joined us, which is in April, that this would be one of the more jam-packed shows that we've done. So then we're off Thursday and Friday. We're back on Monday to recap everything that happened while we were gone. In the meantime, today, leftovers, all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. Producer Evans got them. What do you have today, my friend?
Little World Baseball Classic news. Shohei Ohtani confirms his intent to represent Team Japan in the 2026 World Baseball Classic.
So Ohtani, Roki Sasaki, and Yamamoto, the three players on the Dodgers to keep an eye on. Now, Sasaki's been hurt throughout the year, so we'll see what they do with that. But all three guys were participants the last time that Japan fielded a team for the World Baseball Classic, so you would assume they would want to participate this go around. I cannot wait for this. It's one of my favorite baseball events on the calendar. It's one of my favorite sporting events on the calendar. Baseball's done a great job. The sport of baseball has done a great job putting this together, and it's one of my favorites. So I every time it comes around, I look forward to it, and I'll be up early in the wee hours of the morning to watch the games that aren't played stateside, just because I just love watching baseball. So I'll be there, ready to go.
It is crazy how well done it is, especially with everything, like the fact that baseball isn't in the Olympics anymore, and the fact that it happens right before the season. Like, it's just really, really well done. The setup's great. Yeah, just hats off. They do a nice job. It's similar to the Frozen Four, or the, what was it called? What did they call it? The Four Nations.
The Four Nations.
Which was great.
Is the college.
Yeah, Final Four. Yeah. The Red Sox acquired Sonny Gray.
That's right. Big
in a
move today.
trade with the Cardinals.
Yeah, so it's Sonny Gray for two pitching prospects. Sonny Gray had a no trade clause, so he waived it to go to St. Louis, to go to Boston, I should say. Boston looking to upgrade the floor of their rotation. St. Louis is in sell mode. I think Nolan Arenado is going to be next. Brendan Donovan's name's been floated out there as a potential trade target for some teams. So I think the Cardinals realize they got to tear that thing down and rebuild it. So that's what they're in the process of doing there in St. Louis. Maybe this will be the thing that starts some extra activity in the baseball world.
I was going to say that next. I was going to say that it feels like we already have some activity. I actually wasn't expecting some of this to take place as fast as it has at this point.
Yeah, we've had two trades in the last couple of days in baseball.
And like big name trades.
Yeah, Sonny Gray's a big name.
We really haven't even talked about the Rangers traded Marcus Semien to the Mets for Brandon Nimmo because we got busy in yesterday's leftovers with Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I mean, that was another big trade. So trades, I think, are the storyline so far here of the baseball offseason. And again, I don't think you're going to see Kyle Tucker or any of the big names, Bregman, Bo Bichette. I don't think you'll see them signed till December at the earliest.
Till December.
I would think so.
I feel like that's even a little early.
Yeah, it might be closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, Soto signed December 9th.
Which felt early. I thought that one was going to take out till February.
Well, when you get $750 million, it's kind of easy to just sign on the dotted line.
That's true. Myles Garrett. Have you been seeing what Myles Garrett is doing?
Yeah, he's got 400 sacks this season.
Yeah, so he has 18 sacks in 11 games. The record is 22 and a half.
Yeah, he's going to obliterate this.
He, over his last 4 games, is averaging more than 3 sacks a game.
I mean, he's going to obliterate this at that pace. He's going to, at the pace of his last couple of games, he's going to get it in the second game he plays after this next one?
Yeah.
2 more games, he'll get there?
Yeah, on the pace he's currently at, he would break it in 2 games.
That'd be wild.
That'd be wild. I mean, that sack record has stood a long time.
Well, it originally, so Strahan had it, right?
And TJ Watt tied it.
Right. So it's been at 22 and a half forever. And then before that, it was it Mark Gastineau had it?
Yeah. And that was 21 and a half?
Yeah. And he was not happy with Brett Favre. If you remember that infamous clip that was going around social media.
Yes, that.
He was not happy with Brett because he thought
he wanted his sack back.
He wanted his sack back. Yeah, you took that from me. And for those who don't know what we're referencing, there's a documentary. Is it about Mark or is it about Favre?
I want to say it's about the Jets. I think it's called the New York Sack Exchange.
I think it's the 30 for 30.
It is, yeah.
And there's a clip in there of Gastineau confronting Brett Favre at a card convention.
Like some kind of signing.
Yeah, like a signing expo or something like that. And he was not happy. It is a very awkward exchange.
I was just about to say that. It is probably one of the most painful clips I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
I'll be honest with you, that 30 for 30 was a little painful.
Of the New York Sack Exchange?
It was. So you have that one, and then Mark Gastineau talking about his invention of the sack dance.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
and that whole debacle was painful to watch.
You know how I feel about sports documentaries.
You love them.
I love them. Huge fan. Yeah, they're great.
Well, I
have not missed anything.
4 Days in October is your favorite,
right? And we're good. We peaked.
And
we peaked. We can't do better than that.
Did you ever watch like any of the? You know what I thought was even more interesting was the baseball, like the one on the Red Sox, because seeing a locker room Who cares? Seeing a locker room for 162 games way more interesting than for 17. Who cares? Let me ask you a question. Let's say they do a documentary on the Suns and this getting out of Kevin Durant era.
The alignment.
And it would be on Jordan Ott and Brian Gregory. Is that something you'd watch? Both feet on the ground, stand by what I say. So no. Who cares? I just want to make it clear then. Clearly you're not.
The alignment.
And that's where we'll leave it.
It's going to do it for us here on the Tuesday edition
great radio
of the program. I just like how they all fit. I didn't even have to think. I just saw buttons and I was pressing them. That's going to do it for us. Tuesday edition of the show in the books. Jim Rome's coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow for a Football Wednesday edition of the show. See ya.